Okay. So, how have you been? I've been pretty... yeah, I guess I've been pretty busy. I've had a lot of communication ongoing with new interesting people and new interesting customers. So, I guess that's been pretty busy. Haven't done anything particularly new for a while. Which is kind of fine. I guess I've just been busy with other things. Good things. Family things. I compare this to the time I spent doing a lot of work and not a lot of family things, and I guess that's I find this much better, and I guess no news is good news in a way. And I'll be like, well, I worked for an extra 30 hours this week on this special project. That's exciting and all, but not great for my family and my life balance and all that. Good news, the next version of the Signum, the American-made version, is going to be should be good on funding pretty soon. So once that gets going, I'll feel a lot better, because I'll have all the new features built into the board, and have them like American made and for sale, and I can price better to match the increased American made pricing. I say better, but I'm probably going to wind up lowering the price a little bit from what it is now, because I had to raise it to adjust so that there would be enough for the next run. Because you can't really do small runs from any of the American-made PCB manufacturers, so that's kind of it was a difficult math problem to figure out. And one could argue I'm still kind of figuring it out, but it'll be fine. But in the meantime, I've been doing non-working stuff, and let's see. I don't know, I've been tooling around in Lisp. I've been expanding some of the automation that I do at work, or automating more stuff at work with Emacs and Emacs's Lisp. So it's been pretty comfortable, I think. Pretty low key. And always, working with Lisp is always fun. The debugging is super annoying though. That's pretty problematic. You can run into some really troublesome bugs, really difficult to narrow in on. However, due to the fact that you wind up making things quite iteratively, since you're building functions that call functions that call functions, it's very simple to step back in what you're processing and go, well, can it process this? Yes. Can it process that? Yes. Can it process that? No. All right, well, where's the breakdown? It's a little bit more manual, but I think it's worth it. It's good. It's weird. Like, I don't know what Lisp has. And I do kind of know what it has, but it's like Christmas. You're like, oh man, Christmas is nice and all because of the gifts and everything, but also my heart soars at the birth of our Savior. And I don't want to compare this to how I feel about Lisp, but there's definitely something Oh man, I just learned this word. Ontological, no. Shoot. It's like metaphysics. I guess I could use that word. Shoot, I just learned that new word and I wanted to use it. It's gonna pop into my head later. There's something metaphysical about it, about Lisp, because they're like, yeah, this is like useful and stuff, but it's not just useful. It's sublime is the only word I have, and I keep using it, but it fails to describe what programming in Lisp is like. So I am a bit skeptical, dubious of my, it's like when it's like young love. You're like, oh, she's the most perfect thing ever, and you just overlook all the other stuff. And then after, the rose-colored glasses fall off, you kind of get a little bit more real. I feel like either there are serious qualities that make it earn those rose-colored glasses, or I just spent a really long time in coding and other nonsense that makes those rose-colored glasses last a long time, or maybe it's earned. I don't know. I feel like the love affair should have worn off by now, but it's still going. It's very strange. So if that's not enough of a bit of enough to convince you to try out Lisp, I don't know what is. It's very, very strange. It's not eschatological. Ontological. Is that right? Ontological. Orthogonal? No, that's perpendicular. And that's birds. I'm pretty sure it's ontological. Yeah, it's probably ontological. I'll look it up. But it's something strangely ontological about it. I don't quite understand it. Either way, it's fun, and I'm having fun, and I'm having a rather fun time actually not being possessed by ideas, which is pretty nice. I've been cutting back on my YouTube intake, and I think that's just it feels natural. It feels like a lull. Understanding something, like pornography. Understanding something is an attack makes it a lot easier for you to be like, let's back off. If if you want to eat a Snickers bar, and you're like, oh look, a Snickers bar. You just kind of want the Snickers bar. You're like, sure, why not? But if there's a guy behind the Snickers bar going like, yes, buy my Snickers bar, you will get fat and you will want more, and it's like, no thank you, like, you're giving it some negative connotation, and that negative connotation is lacking from a lot of things. So it's like, oh, free entertainment, oh, free porn, oh, all of this stuff is free. Free Tinder, free, Tinder? Is it Tinder? Yeah. Free love, sure. No consequences, sure. Yeah, right. And you realize how damaging that stuff is. Free space in my brain. Hey, YouTube says, hey, can we borrow your eyes for several hours a day, or borrow your ears for several hours a day? And I'm like, oh, sure, yeah, why not? Understanding that it's a distraction and distracts you from actual productive work or creative work, that makes a big difference. You view it as an attack. And this counts too. If you were not very interested in this, you probably shouldn't be listening to it. I do kind of couch some of this by, well, time-wise at least. I listen to all my stuff at double speed, except for a very few YouTubers that either have accents or talk particularly fast, or both. Everything's at double speed, so that saves me time, but it doesn't necessarily save me headspace. You know, this cache, this buffer that's up here, that's filled with other stuff. You know, was it Owen Benjamin called Twitter I forget if it was a rage algorithm or an outrage algorithm. Either one works. YouTube is just like an information algorithm. Is it what is it? That quote, what information consumes? Information consumes attention, and an abundance of information creates a poverty of attention. So much stuff, it just doesn't matter. You know, how many YouTube videos have I seen of current events that I completely forgot about or were completely irrelevant a week later, or a month later, or 6 months later, who knows? None of it is important. But if I had it to do over again, I would take many of those hours and apply them toward, you know, the next circuit board design, or discovering the next the next cool idea for the next design. That is time much better spent, and much more lasting time, rather than being a consumer of information. You know, we can lie to ourselves and tell us that the information is important and relevant, but you know, it's like I got to that point with politics where I'm like, oh well, politics are important, and then I realized that it was just you know, it's just sports ball. It's just football with different teams, and the teams don't wear jerseys. And everyone's like, well, my guy's going to beat your guy. Oh, well, your guy did this. Well, my guy did that. It's like, well, okay, here we go. No, they're blocking my view. Awesome. I'll just hang out here for a little bit. There we go. Good heavens. All right. And then you realize that they're all working together, and that they're all making oh no, not football. I realized politics was not football. Politics was WWE. It was wrestling. It was pro wrestling. And they're like, oh, you're the bad guy. And he's like, ah ha ha, I am the bad guy. And they're like, oh, we gotta defeat the bad guy. And they're like, oh, the bad guy's cheating. Oh no, the ref. Oh, the ref is on the bad guy's side. Whoa! Now this nonsense with the Supreme Courts, and just all the way up to the top. It's all just nonsense. All of it. It's incredible. And once you see that, it's hard to be like, oh, well, this is important. Yeah, right. Everyone's talking about the current events. Oh, the Democrats did this. Oh, yeah. Well, the Republicans did that. Oh, yeah. Well, they're both going to the same parties afterwards and shaking hands and figuring out how to equivocate and get each other, give the other guy what he wants in order to get what they want. And they all leave richer. They all leave millionaires. This is me. Okay. Chill. Being chill. So the news is just a distraction to keep you from the important stuff. The based stuff. The real change. The battle is not for a Congress or a bit of legislation. The battle is for this. And this, the hearts and minds of the people. What greater prize? angry cows don't let you milk them.